Walka's manager. And so basically we got a whole update on the situation. So they were actually leaving the store. They had just got their bags and was leaving the store. They went shopping and everything like that. And once they left the store, somebody seen the flashy bags, and that's when they try to grab that. So it was a lot of people at first saying that they try to snatch Sauce Walka's chain, but it turned out to be that they try to snatch the bags that he was shopping with. So same thing. I mean, it could have been thousands of dollars or whatever inside them bags. But when the chain came into question, it was because of the fact that it was the 102 chain. That chain had the baguettes in it, guys. Emerald cut, everything. And it had a red bandana on it. And so the dude, he squinted his eyes and he seen that that was a bandana, red bandana on the chain. And the guy had a bunch of flashy bags with him with designer brand names on it. And basically they looked like they were millionaires or something. So in LA, you could just be walking or something and somebody hit you in the back of the head with an iron bat. And that's the one thing that you got to avoid. So you got to be looking over your shoulder and make sure that nobody's sneaking up on you. You can't just be having your bags walking through downtown like it's Hollywood or something. No, you can't just do that. And even if you're in Beverly Hills, like, you got to be moving very like cryptid and low key and stuff like that. You basically got to like tuck the bag in your pockets before you jump out. And that's like if you were going to the cookie store too. Like if you went to the cookie store in LA, you got to tuck your bag before you walk out, because once you leave that property, once you leave that building, they're no longer responsible for you or anything, because you know they got the guards, right? And so once you walk out there, and let's say you walk through, the place is like right next to an alley or parking lot, and you had to park your car there, and you turn the corner, somebody is expecting you to be there with your bag out. And if your bag is out or you got something in your hands, they're gonna take it from you if they want it. And so you have to have that stuff tucked. You can't have nothing in your hands. You have to be looking in good posture, walking like you actually are about that, you know? You gotta be walking and like you mean something. You can't just be relaxed and just lollygagging, be out here caught lacking, man. This you gotta understand, this is 2023, and people can't just be out here. See, what I'm saying is you got to always be one step ahead, 1 year ahead. So you can't just be out here lacking in 2022. You got to be moving like it's 2023. And a lot of people, they just don't understand, man, that you can't just be acting like it's a perfect world, like it's rainbows and unicorns. No, you have to just realize that, hey, this is how people act these days. So are you going to already have a plan, or are you going to wait until something happens to you and then you have to panic and react and not know what to do in situations? So I'm trying to help a lot of people out here so they can understand that what happened to Sauce Walka happens to a lot of people out here on the daily, and they don't end up making it out the situation. They don't have millions of dollars to be able to ride around with off-duty security. They don't have the type of lifestyle where they're able to get private guards right from the airport at LAX right to the cookie store. So one thing you got to understand is that this type of situation happens all the time, and it don't even have to be in LA. Like, for example, if you in a place where it's not flashy or it's a small town or something like that, it could be more people watching you and everything. And so you can't just be shopping and anything. You got to park close to the mall. You got to park close to the store so you could just be in and out. Don't be don't be parking in the back of the parking lot, the back of the mall, and then have to risk walking with your belongings through that long parking lot. Anybody could be hiding behind them cars and jump out. Anybody could be right there outside of on the sidewalk. He put his hoodie up and instantly started marching towards Sauce Walka. And that's when Sauce Walka already had security with him. But guess what? One of the securities was an off-duty. When the off-duty looked over his shoulder and seen the guy marching down, he was high-kneeing all the way right down to him. And he stuck his arm out and dove at Sauce Walka. Sauce Walka yanked the bags back, took 2 steps, and that's when the off-duty security guy tackled him and pulled out the strap, and boom, boom, right there. Like, he pinned him and blasted, basically. And so this whole thing was unverified, but technically the situation is as it goes, okay? So when he seen him, He ran at him like he was about to tackle him. Then but he got low. It looked like he got low because he was pulling out the strap. The dude pulled the strap out, and since he was off duty, he put a switch on it. That switch was already there with his thumb, and he pressed the button and flew out. It went right through, man. And so this whole thing, and it was crazy because the guy that was with him, he froze. He didn't know what to do. He didn't run. He didn't do anything. He didn't attack. They told him to freeze right there, and they pinned him down to do a citizen's arrest and basically de-escalated the whole situation, you know. And so Sauce Walka has a lot of people that are with him when he's moving around big cities. When you're visiting a place like Los Angeles, you can't just come alone like that no more. You got to be able to be with somebody. Like, you got to use a buddy system of some sort, because they using buddy systems to come and get people. And so if you just end up having bad luck and you run into this type of situation, you got to make sure that somebody's with you. So Sauce Walka knew for a fact he knows how to move. He's a professional rapper, and being a rapper is pretty much the most dangerous job. Like, you don't see loggers and fishermen getting random attacks by people who got a switch on them. And so that's what you got to understand. So now when you look at it, Sauce Walka came out on that live and he was basically explaining the whole situation, but he never said anything about how he hit some. He said that somebody got their brain snatched for trying to snatch a chain, but he went on live talking about how it's a lot of young people out here that got to learn from this, because I know a lot of people will be like, they basically greedy enough to snatch somebody's chain or take somebody's bags and stuff like that, and you just can't be doing that, because this is exactly what will happen to you. And Sauce Walka, he didn't want to have it go down like this, but what happened, and you know, at the end of the day, it's better that guy than him, you know. And you don't want to be the one who's reversing that situation, man. Or if nobody was there to help Sauce Walka, imagine what would have happened. The guy could have snatched him up and they could have dragged him in the alley, who knows what. And so that chain would have been passed around, probably seen at the pawn shop. It's every day that the stories that don't make out the news and stuff in LA, that stuff goes on, man. And so if you listening from LA or from Houston, you just got to know that it's a lot more of this stuff that happens than what you hear on the news. And so that's why I'm breaking it down for you guys. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, because at the end of the day, guys, think of all the people who wasn't lucky enough to get their 9 out fast enough and put the switch on it, and or maybe they didn't have a switch, and so, you know, they got hit first before that guy, or maybe they got the guy or something, or they missed and the other guy had the switch, or there were no switches and they got him first, or they blindsided him. A lot of people get blindsided, or like